remember those years without paying too much attention to world events. It's like you knew Katrina happened, but I wasn't like, following it. I was like 13 or whatever. Like Dragon Ball was the shit. I didn't care about rain.
Right.
So it was this, but all of a sudden you start seeing all these new kids in school.
Right.
It's like, oh, they're from New Orleans or whatever. It's like
it's a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
And on and on. Yeah, and the girls were in school and daycare and stuff, so we saw a lot of people coming from New Orleans. A lot of very sad stories, and of course, being an older person than you were, I was paying a lot of attention to what was going on because politically, socially, it was a disaster. So there was a lot of sadness during that time. It was heartbreaking to watch.
That's a good thing to bring up though, because seeing as how you were paying more, you were a lot more. Let's just say you were paying attention compared to what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
How did that whole thing with the relief and all that compare to this with Corona?
As far as businesses,
I know there was
they're very, very different. It'd be hard to compare those two. I can better compare Katrina to 9/11 than I can to the pandemic, because the numbers of people that were affected. Sure, there were hundreds of thousands of people affected, but not that died. There wasn't 50,000 people that died during Katrina. But response-wise, they just screwed up. They got trapped.
The whole thing.
I remember, just like they talk about now how, who's to blame, they start talking about this who's to blame thing. I remember that part of it towards the end, and when I put it all together now, when I think about it, we didn't anticipate well enough. It could have been a little group think in there, amongst the people that were deciding what to do. But there was not enough advocacy for the poor brown people that were there in the way of everything. Had it been $1 million houses like the coast of Miami, I bet you they would have changed. It would have been a different response. I'll say that. They didn't care enough to worry enough and to help enough to get people out. People did leave, but a lot of people couldn't, and the government just didn't do enough to deal with that. And people did. In all due respect, there were people that didn't want to leave.
What, just because it was their home?
Yeah. Just had been their home for 30, 40 years.
Nostalgia can cripple
you sometimes. It does. It was very hard. I remember they were talking about how hard it was to get their parents and grandparents and different people like that to leave. It's sad.
I've realized that just in normal life that putting too much of a value on nostalgia can stop you from progressing and make you afraid to progress in a lot of things. And I was talking to my friend about that the other day. I was saying, because we started reminiscing on something, and I was like, I don't like to start getting too much into that wheel, because I explained to her, I'm like, I start devaluing what's happening now and what could happen in the future.
Right.
And it's like, it's cool to look back. I love looking back. It feels great. I was cleaning out my shed the other day, and until I started running into like rats and cats, it was just going through my
rats and cats.
I mean, I didn't mean to rhyme.
Come on, Benny, man. The kid is a L7 Weenie.